Okay. You will. Hi, how are you? My name is Fernando José Castillo III, and my classmate's name is Reina Michelle Cárdenas Colli. And we are going to talk about communicative language teaching. And we are talking about methods and approaches to English teachers.
The approach for this method is based on the theory that language as communication. According to Himes, the goal of language teaching is to develop what he called communicative competence, which he defines as what a speaker needs to be competent in a speech community. He also mentions that those who acquire this communicative competence can be acquired both knowledge and ability for language use. Next.
Okay. The CLT is an approach to teach foreign language and a second language, um, which emphasize and communicative competence and also take emphasis in the interaction as a means to teach any language.
Another theory is the Halliday theory about the functional account of language use. According to Halliday, and since only through the study of language in use are all the functions of language. He describes 7 basic functions that language performs for teachers learning their peers' language. The instructional function, the regulatory function, the interactional function, the personal function, the heuristic function, the imaginative function, and the representative function. And this part mentions 3 principles that address the conditions necessary to promote second language learning more than the process of language acquisition. One element may be described as the a second element is the task principle, and the third element is the meaningfulness principle. Description of the method. Language is a system for the expression of meaning. The primary function of language is to allow the interaction and communication. The structure of language reflects its functional and communicative uses. The primary units of language are categories of functional and communicative meaning.
Some characteristics about the method is that it's aimed to make learners to attain communicative competence, and so the learners can use language accurately and appropriately. The syllabus emphasizes the functional use of the language, and the syllabus is relying on the authentic materials and the texts which are assigned to the learners have purpose and the meaning.
Design. The objective in this method aims to achieve the following objectives: an integrative and content level. This means language as means of expression, a linguistic and instrumental level as an object of learning, an effective level of interpersonal relationship and conduct, language as means of expression, values, and judgment. 4. A level of individual learning needs. And the fifth, a general educational level of extra-linguistic goals.
Objective of the activity. Learners, learners interact with other people through pair and asking questions. The students are encouraged to concentrate on the communication. There is a subject and linguistic matter. Subject matter is an interview, and linguistic matter is an information and communication. Learning task and the teaching activities that we are going to use is an information gathering, and the teaching activities is like any interviews.
The role of learners. The learner has a role as negotiator between the self, the learning process, and the object of learning. Learners should contribute as much as they gain. It's expected that students will interact primarily with each other rather than with the teacher.
The role of learners should involve in interaction and conversation with the teacher and other learners in the classroom. The students should be more interactive and create an interactive environment in the classroom for making the learning more easy and attractive. The learners must have focus in CLT approach and the communication. Is like the learner have to create some groups and the student must have to cooperate support and each other in the complete their role task.
The role of teacher. The teacher has two main roles. The first one is to facilitate the communication process between all participants in the classroom and between these participants and the various activities and tasks. The second one is to act an independent participant within the learning teaching group.
The roles of the teacher about the activity. And the teacher remain as a facilitator to be done the communication process among all the participants. And they also encourage learners to to join various activities. And as a professor, a teacher answers the question of students and also care about their performance and activities. Sometimes the teacher plays the role of a guide in the classroom activities. He or she monitors the errors of the student and delivers some positive feedbacks among to the learners.
The role of instructional materials. In this method, practitioners view instructional materials as factors that influence the quality of classroom interaction and language use. So the most important primary role is to promote the use of language.
The role of instructional materials about the activity. And this activity will be to help the student to communicate interactively with the people around here. And the student is going to develop um, to speak fluently.
In this case, the Asian level of student is to age is 20 years and level is A2.
In this activity, I'm going to give you some questions that you have to ask your classmate. And the second point is you need to talk about the questions that your classmate is asking you. And the third point is that the learner going to give personal information. Fourth point, and you you just have to talk about around 2 minutes. And finally, if you want to share other question with your partner, you can do it. So go ahead. Hello, my dear friend. What is your name?
Hi, my name is Michelle. What's yours?
My name is Fernando. And when and where were you born?
I was born in Cozumel in, in 4th of January. What about you?
Well, I was born in Chiapas, and I my birthday is on 19th February. Yeah. And so, how old are you?
I'm 21 years old. And you?
Okay, I'm 22. What are your favorite subject?
My favorite subject is English. What is yours?
English. My favorite subject is um English too. It's okay.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Who is your favorite teacher?
Obviously, the English teacher.
Yeah, the
What
same
about you?
teacher. It's the same teacher for me.
Yeah, it's a great teacher.
Yeah. And what is your favorite sport?
My favorite sport is boxing. And you, do you have a favorite sport?
Not really, but I like the karate and the kickboxing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah. What do you want to be as an adult?
Mm, I don't know. I think I want to be a teacher.
A teacher
What
and
about you?
English teacher.
Eh, yeah, in English teacher.
English teacher.
In English,
Okay.
in English subject. What about you?
But I don't know. But the same. I would like to be a teacher, but also I would like to be an military man.
Oh, military. That's interesting.
Yeah. And for the last one is that what skill would you like to develop in the future?
Well, I, I want to achieve my in my speaks, and when I speak English, I I want to achieve this skill. And
Yeah,
you?
that's great. The same, I would like to develop them to learn many language like Italian,
Yes,
Japanese, English,
Italian,
many.
French.
Yeah,
That's interesting for me too.
it's great. So this was the interview activity, and we have the reference